So here we are at Utah, Golden Spike. This is where the two railroads met in the 1800s. And it was, a Golden Spike was finally put in the railroad. I'm not sure where the railroad is. I think it's over here, because the railroad's over here. So it has to be within this area. Yeah, there's railroad tracks down here, so it's probably down there. So we're going to go take a look and check out the Golden Spike. Remember Hell on Wheels? The very end of the show when they finally nailed the last spike? Yeah. So here we go at the Golden Spike. Of course, flags are half-mast because of the shooting in Vegas Visitor Center, Golden Spike Historical Park. So, and over there is where the train depot is, somewhere over there. We'll go over there in a little bit, but the railroad track is still there. And there's the center. Let's go see what this says over here. Golden Spike. The last rails laid, the spike is driven, the Pacific Railroad is completed here at Promontory, Utah at 12:47 p.m. on May 10th, 1869. Driven of the Golden Spike completed the first transcontinental railroad climax of a dramatic railroad building race between the Union Pacific and the Central Pacific. Union Pacific is still around. Picture of when they laid the Golden Spike. I'm already trying to take a picture, but there's the railroad itself. But that picture is kind of cool. I wonder the guy from Hell on Wheels is there. I don't see him.
Mr. Bohannon?
I don't see Mr. Bohannon anywhere. Where's Bohannon? Where's the lady with the thing on her lip? It's probably her. It was a true character though. Because I read about it not too long ago. $5 I can donate to the awesomeness of the railroad. Look, I think I found the Golden Spike. Golden train books. Everything is golden. Look at the little Junior Ranger. Look at the Junior Ranger Golden Spike shirts. Check this one out.
Could I get one of those things with handles?
Got trains on the back. Here's caution. Trains have no brain. Please use your own. Trains history. They even have golden spikes. It's not real gold. Stevie Nicks. And those of you who've seen Hell on Wheels, you know this is the town that had some of these suppliers. These are many heavy tractors. I don't know what that is. Fire water to cure what ails you. I guess these were found here. Pepper box pistol. Argument in Hell on Wheels town. This revolver was found at the camp in their big fill site. Yep, it was found here. Wow. Imagine finding that with a metal detector. What the old game cards used to look like. Injection brew. And there's some of the pictures from back in the day when it was a town. It looks just like the TV show. Have a little town display. And then a little railroad. The people, when they met and they finally planted the Golden Spike, which I'll show you a little bit later. And they finally put the golden spike in. Here's a watch from back then. Railroad watch, pocket watch, 1863. Boston, Massachusetts, got 15 jewels. Watch certificate. Cool. And there's part of the railroad thing. Imagine the people that have walked on this. Sure, this is not real, but can imagine. And then the shovel. Don't know if that's a real shovel. Oliver Ames and Sons shovel. Workers removed rock 80 miles east of Sacramento. So this was signed in the show Hell on Wheels. They had like this sign here that was, you know, put it in 10 miles of track and laid in one day. Of course, they had it in the show where they did this toward the last season, I believe. And here's a picture of it. Original sign posted in Southern City, right away facing east. Remnant of trackway record. So, last spike driven. Noon, Monday, May 10th, 1869. There's Leland Stanford and Thomas Durant. Looks nothing like the show. Thomas Durant. They got a guy up on the pole.
Mm-hmm.
Just standing there like it doesn't bother him.
And they call him Dr. Durant?
Yeah.
President
Union Pacific
of
Railroad president. Cheated country out of money. Speeches were given and then a lengthy prayer. Governor Stanford stepped up, took the hammer, swung it, and missed. Then Durant took his turn and also missed the spike. With each swing of the malls, a crowd of working men broke into a spontaneous applause. James Strobridge and Samuel Reed, the crew bosses for the railroads, then took up unwired mauls and divided last blows between them as the air exploded with hurrahs. Can you imagine what it was like back then? Evolution of the rail. It's probably one of the real tracks. Well, why not? Look how bent it is. The spikes look pretty old. They just brought it over here for display. Original rail. Irish who toiled on the Transcontinental Railroad, uniting a nation. To commemorate the centennial of the first Transcontinental Railroad, an American to pay tribute to the Chinese workers who mostly built the railroad. National Historic Civil Engineering Landmark. Golden Spike Continental Reenactment, 1869. Right after the Civil War. The show made it look like it was years and years after. Of course not.
See the picture?
Yeah. This photo was taken one day before Transcontinental Line was completed.
Okay, so it says, a tent town quickly grew around the last spike.
So I imagine this was the original railroad. Maybe this is where they met. So I'll go down here, walk a little bit, and it looks like this is where the spike was. Yep, it sure is. I guess this is where the audience can sit, because this is where most of the people were. When you see the two railroad trains meet, and this is where the last spike is. The last tie laid on completion on the Pacific Railroad, May 1869. That's it. Last tie. This is it. So you see the pictures. Two very old trains meeting together. And people shaking hands, and you see Continental, the Eastern Pacific, or Northern Pacific, Eastern Pacific on one side, and the Union Pacific on the other side, and they're both trains meet each other, and they had the spike that they drove the last golden spike in. This is it. This is where they did it. Can you imagine how many people were here back then? Now, there's nothing left but a historical site. This over here. Can you imagine what you could find if you had a metal detector? There's another picture. 1942. After opening the Lucian Cutoff in 1904, the historic rail line north of the Great Salt Lake was minimal importance. In 1942, the last spike was ceremonially undriven here from a crowd in the Union Pacific, Southern Pacific, and states dignitaries. In a few months, the entire line between Korean and Lucian was salvaged, with the steel directed to America's war effort. Look at that, it's beautiful. It's amazing out here. 1869, here we go. 4 months after completion, Promontory was notorious boomtown, composed of hotels, saloons, gambling tents, with a few stores and shops. Transcontinental passengers changed trains until mid-1870. Many were victimized by resident gamblers and con artists. Newspaperman J.H. Beadle noted of the town 4,900 feet above sea level, though theologically speaking, if we interpret scripture literally, it ought to have been 49,000 feet below the level, for it certainly was for its size. There's a picture of the tent town back in the day. This is the tent town, and this is it today. Miles that were walked on this railroad, all the people that have walked it, the Chinese that have built it, Irishmen that built it, African Americans, everybody was a part of it. All of them. Transcontinental Railroad was a commercial link who opened new markets and figuratively united the nation with bands of rail. See here, our Union Pacific Railroad fruit cars en route to California being loaded with perishables for eastern markets. For a few months in 1869, Promontory was a vital hub in the exchange of passengers and freight. So where you're standing, where you see this picture, is that right there. I guess that's the new railroad over there. The new tracks. This is the old. Wow. I'm in awe. I stand here and I am completely in awe of this place. Just in awe. Because of all the people that have been here in history. And all that. No longer here. Just in awe.